Today is the webinar for goLoyalty, one of our many apps for your e-commerce website. And again, if you have any questions, you can type it into the chat, which is in the lower right-hand corner, or you can raise your hand and ask questions. That's fine. I'll be also opening this up at the end for questions. So if you want to save it for the end too, we can do that. So I want to start off by going to the website. If you want to find like where you're supposed to log into your Epic Apps, it's right here. So the client portal to Epic Apps is right there. And if you want support, you can go here. Today with me, I've got my apps team and Angelica, because she was bored. And so they are here, and they're the ones who do a lot of this stuff and build it out. And so you've got the goLoyalty app. And so under goLoyalty, you can go through here. I love the video guides. Mira put those together. I'm just so impressed. But if you want to go onto our YouTube channel, or you can come here and you can watch these little short videos that goes over each of those. And so that's how you get to the Epic Apps, and that's how you get to support. I'm going to jump into Epic Apps as if I've already logged in. I'm logged into one of our demo sites today, and so some of the stuff is going to look a little wonky, but that's okay. It's the demo site. It'll work just fine. So when it opens up, you're going to want to click on the website marketing tab, and you're going to want to go to goLoyalty. And what goLoyalty is a way, so a lot of companies, they figure out how to get people to their website, and then they get, figure out how to, which is like SEO and marketing and social media marketing. And then once they get to the website, it boils down to what's called conversion rate optimization, CRO. How do you get them to buy? So how do you get them there? How do you get them to buy? But then the third part, a lot of small businesses forget about a lot, which in my opinion is the most important, is how do you get them to keep coming back? When my wife and I had a flower shop, I would, tell the employees that it's not about, the guy that comes in and buys the roses at Valentine's Day that's going to keep us in business. Is he going to come back every month? And so that's so important. It's the same thing for your online store. So goLoyalty is one of the things that we've built that solves that problem. And I want to go over and kind of show you. If you're not using goLoyalty, put in the support ticket, support@epicShops.com. And Moses, who's here also, head of support, will help turn that on. So let's go over this. And I'm not going to go into each one of these tabs, but it's basically goes over the app. And down under support, we've got articles, which is going to take you back there. We have our AI assistant, and then we have the videos. This is going to take you right to YouTube. And then we also have our AI assistant down here that will help you if you have questions for goLoyalty. So I'm going to click on the rewards over here, and there are starting out, there's two different options, basic and advanced. I think that even though this webinar, and if you're watching this and you're not a flower shop owner, 95% of our clients are florists. So a lot of times I'll be using florist references, but it works the same for non-florists. So on this basic, I would say 100% of our flower shops use the basic because it works that way. I'm going to go over advanced, and maybe some florists that are going to watch this today might want to switch over, but it is an option. So the very first tab here is basic, and it's on right now. And we get to set how many cents back that the customer gets for store credit. And I'm going to walk you through and show you what the customer sees in a few minutes. But right now it's set to 10. So down here, there's an example. If it's set to 10, that's 10% back. So if somebody spends $100, they get $10 store credit. Exactly what it would be like if you were to put a 10% coupon on your website, or a 10% coupon in a newspaper. And for you young people, a newspaper, you can Google that to see what that is. Advanced off is, so let's go, so that's pretty simple and straightforward. Now the advanced, I'm going to turn it on. The advanced is a way to let you, we have companies that use this that are pretty big that are not florists that wanted this built in. And what it does is it sets different levels. And I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to come back to this exclude thing option, but I'm going to go here first. So we can come in here and we can call this the silver level. And if anybody spends from $1 to $100, we're going to give them 5% back, just like that. Now, if we want, we can check this and give a limit. So if we say, you know what, I only want the limit to be, I don't know, $9. That's it. You can set a limit on this right here. So I'm going to save it, and that will be our silver plan. I'm going to come in here and let's add our gold plan. So gold will be from 101. I don't know. Let's get crazy and go 542. And then let's say they get 15% back. So we're going to go up higher. Again, I can set a limit. Oh yeah, I got to name it. It doesn't read my mind yet. We're working on that. And then we're going to do a third one. We'll call it, I don't know. And from there, I forgot what I said, but let's say 654 to $22 billion. And if they spend that much, then they're going to get 35% back. And so you can make a plan, a tiered plan. If they spend between that, they get that much back, and then you can limit it. Because we've got some companies that have some really big tickets, and they didn't want to give 10% back on whatever it was, 15,000. I think it was pianos or something, which was a ton. So it was up to a certain point. And then I'm going to go back to let's see here. Let me save this. Actually, I don't want to save it. I'm going to go back to basic, save. And over here. Now, Moses, Alex, where is, oh, there it is. Never mind. Aha. Oh, Megan's got a question. Megan, yes, how can I help you?
Okay, I might be getting ahead of you a little bit, but my question is that something that the customer sees, like the differentiation, like silver, gold, platinum, so they are more motivated, or not really?
Yeah, in the messages over here, we can put whatever we want, and we can get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, Moses and Alex, I figured it out. Those guys, anytime I forget, Alex builds this stuff out, and Moses does support. So they're like my brains when it comes to this, but I remembered. So let's go over the exclude products and groups. So sometimes you don't want to give this is the advanced mode. Sometimes you don't want to give a % back on specific things. So all you have to do is type in, I just put an R in there because I'm looking for whatever. And so then you can click, these are the ones that we're excluding. These, you don't get it. And sometimes, those big ticketed items, like a wedding package, for example, if someone were to sell a wedding package for $5,000, you'd want to exclude that. Also, there are customer groups. So if you have customer groups built into your BigCommerce website, you can actually pull it in here. So for example, if you have a customer group that is called realtors, because all your local realtors, when they order on your website, they get 10% off automatically. Maybe you don't want them to get another 10% on top of that. So it'd be about 20%. Wait, let me take my shoes off. Yeah, 20%. So yeah, so that you can exclude this. And because the majority of our businesses are florists, all of this advanced stuff has been built out custom because we've got some bigger companies that use this. I'm going to move on to messages unless anyone else has another question. Okay, cool. Messages. So the messaging, there's a few different places in the messaging. So you've got this little pop-up guy here, this rewards that will pop up. And this is where you can put that messaging on here. For example, Megan, I'm going to shut that. And then we have messaging on the actual florist page here. So if I were to go here and I'm logged in, so for example, it doesn't see that I'm logged in, so it's going to say earn 5% back or whatever I've set it to. And then right here, see more, see less, Megan. So that's there. So I'm going to try to see it from Alex's point of view. So again, this is a test site. She's got $12 credit, and I'm going to log in as Alex. Log in. Now, if I'm a customer and I'm logged in, I can go in and there's that guy again. I can go into a product and it's going to say, just to let you know, you have $12 in store credit for your purchase today. So thank you for shopping with us today, Alex. So because we know that she's logged in and she's got $12 credit, it's going to say this. It also says it in the checkout too, which I'll show you. So the messaging part of the app, let's go back over here. You're going to get, here's the pop-out message. So there's the settings, where to show it, checkout, product page, home page, left, right. You can do all kinds of stuff here. This is where you set all that. And so over here is message to customers who are not logged in, and then messages to customers who are logged in. And we've got these cool things called merge tags. So you can put like their name in there. So it knew Alex because we put the word Alex right here. I'm sorry, the merge tag, customer's first name, and it's going to pull that automatically. Over here, it says store credit customer. So that's a merge tag. So you can customize these messages based on whatever you want, but we can pull dynamically from these different merge tags. And so that's what you're seeing. And anytime you want to see what it looks like, we've got these little blue buttons, because sometimes our people are like, well, why don't I understand what, you know, that is? And then you can look at it here, rewards text, your logo. So little examples. And so that's the pop-out. Now we have that text snippet message. And that's what I was just showing right here. This right here is the text snippet message. I'm going to close that because we have the other one open. And this is where you can do that on the product page, the checkout. And so you can add custom CSS, and we can help you with this if you don't know coding. With AI now, you can just ask AI, I'll do it for you. Here's the example that we're looking at. And so we can also change that custom message to when they're not logged in and when they are logged in. So we've got all this stuff set up, and you can turn it on and off if you don't want. In fact, let's go. Yeah, that's all on. Okay, just want to make sure. And all on. Okay, great. So let's go through it in order, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. So I'm just going to go, let's see here, card message. Oh, wait, card message. I'm just going to put in junk in here, sorry. Just go fast. Add to cart. Oh, I forgot to add an option that looks at cart. Proceed to checkout. Ooh! If you didn't notice, this is the floral beauty. I think, let's see if we can get this bigger, Alex. Let's try to get this like twice as big. So you'll see that little snippet here again. And the reason why we put it here and on the product page and the checkout, 70%-ish of people who get to the checkout will bounce, they'll leave and not purchase from you. And so we really want to keep encouraging them to purchase and close that deal. And so we really want them to get here. So by letting them know. And if I keep going down and I'm going to continue, I'm going to show you what it looks like when they do the credit. So see, it says $12 there. Notice it says store credit $12, but maybe Alex wants to save it all up until she gets like $1 million and then put you out of business. Oh, just kidding. So you can uncheck that and now it's gone. So that Alex can do that. I think there's an option in BigCommerce where you can turn this off so it can't put you out of business. Yes, Megan.
So before, it kind of pertains to my last question, just before I move on from the messaging. So how would you suggest expressing those couple different levels? Not that we have to use the different levels, but that is kind of a nice incentive to get people to spend a little bit more maybe, or decide on a different arrangement. And so like without being too overly complicated, or like where would you put that at the checkout message, or would you put it if they're not logged in, or if they are logged in, like where would you suggest, or how would you suggest in sort of a like concise way putting that message in there so they know, so that they're aware of the tiers? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got like several different places you could put that. You obviously wouldn't put it in like the title or the text word, but like the body or the frequently asked questions. And so that would be the pop-out message. And then I would just copy and paste that and put it over here in those that are logged in or logged out, just to remind them. So like over here, it would be the body. So I'd probably be consistent and put it over here in the body. and then you can just type it there. Same thing with the snippet is in the body. So they would see that right, here. So there would be like, it would show, spend this much money, get this much back, or whatever you type there, right in this area.
And you would think that it'd be okay to say, just to let you know, you have $12 in store credit, and then additionally put like the different tiers there. That wouldn't, you don't think that's too much, or like too just like overselling, sometimes they get bugged by that too.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it on the checkout just because we don't want to make them think. We want to have them put their credit card in, and not like make them second guess. And so in my opinion, I wouldn't put it in this little guy. I would put it in that little pop-up, the one that pops up if people want to know more about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to jump to emails. Does anybody have any questions about messages before we go to the next part? Okay, on to emails. This is something that is one of the most important things, in my opinion, of the whole app is the emails. So we have a monthly email that goes out, and the monthly email will tell them, hey, customer's name, thanks for being a great customer. We just wanted to remind you that you have, $12 of store credit. So this acts as a email marketing tool as well, this app. And so this is once a month. There's that you can send a test. You're like, well, if you come in here and make changes, send yourself a test so you can see it. And this will go out once a month. Same thing with order confirmation. So your order confirmation, and again, you can preview it here. The reason why these are, this email is not heavy on images and looking cool is because the more you add to this, the more Gmail and Outlook will say, oh, this is spam, and they'll go to the spam email. So we have to really be careful, and that's why these emails kind of look boring like that, because we don't want them to go to spam. And so the confirmation email is the same thing. So after your customer buys something and they just bought $100 worth of something, the confirmation email will say, hey, just to let you know, you have $10 back at Vogue Flowers or wherever they're at. That way they, we really want them to be loyal and keep coming back. Not just because you guys offer awesome service and flower arrangements, but also they've got credit there to help kind of nudge them along. Any questions about the emails? All right, analytics. The analytics, because this is a dummy site, if I were to go to, some of you guys already have this turned on, this would be fully filled out. Basically, analytics is going to show when the email was sent, the customer's name, customer's email, email type, whether it was like a confirmation email or a reminder email. And then it's going to show here if the customer viewed it. And so one of the things we were wondering was, this was added later on, we're like, well, people are getting these, are they even seeing it? And so to be able to go here to see if they're viewing it is a nice analytic that customers were asking to have, so we put that in here. Settings, pretty simple here. This is your on and off, turn it on and off. And then down here is when does it trigger? When do you trigger the reward to happen? And so just because they purchase something doesn't mean they should get the reward, because we learned real quick that people would purchase something, they'd get their reward, and then they would cancel and they would still get the reward. So we don't want that. So what happens now is we can have it where we can do in BigCommerce, as you know, you can change it to completed, shipped, or whatever. And right now it's just completed, but I can also do shipped or whatever. And it'll show you that this will trigger and give the credit once it's marked completed or shipped. Some of you guys have point of sales that do that automatically, especially if on mass. They'll just do it automatically for you. It'll come back into BigCommerce and mark it as completed, and then it'll trigger. One of the things that we've noticed in the past is sometimes a customer will turn it on and their customers aren't getting any credit. They're not getting any credits. And it's because they don't have the trigger set. So this is really important. And again, if you guys don't have this turned on, contact support at epicShops.com. and we'll get that turned on for you. Let us know what the trigger is, how much you want back, or anything like that. Or you can meet with Moses on a live Google Meet and set it up together also. And then you guys who are already running this, you should log in and take a look at it to see if it's setting, if the wording, just to kind of audit to see what it's looking like and making sure everything is set up correctly the way you want it. And that is pretty much it. Am I forgetting anything, app team? Anything?
On so far, sir.
Alex. Awesome. Okay. All right. So I am going, does anybody have any questions they want to ask before we end this webinar?
I do. I don't know why.
No. Okay, Megan, this is your last one. No, I'm just
Okay. So we were talking just a little bit before we came on, Dad and I, about how this could be translated to in-store purchases as well. Like, because we have a lot of customers who visit us in store and never visit our website. And I know it's a little trickier because everybody has different like point of sale. But Dad mentioned just briefly when we were brainstorming, maybe like having some sort of member QR code that they could scan that's attached to BigCommerce, or something like a customer ID that it would be a lot to have to do it manually, but if there were some customers who were dedicated enough to like collecting their points in store, if there's a way that could happen at all.
Yeah, that's a great question. And
Doesn't have to be answered right now, but
I do have to answer that. I won't be able to sleep tonight. So that's a great question, and it's an awesome idea and feature. So this is what has to happen. In order for that to happen, there's got to be a third-party server or somewhere where it can collect data, which isn't that big of a deal. That's not that hard. And then both the point of sale has to talk to it, as well as the website has to talk to it. And basically, it's checking to see if there's been any updates. So like every night at midnight, it would check it to see if the number is different. And so if the number was different and it went from like $11 credit to $30 credit, it would have to update both the website and the point of sale. That's how that would have to work. Now, can we do that? Yeah, that's easy. It's not that big of a deal. We could even have the third-party server or whatever running. But it's the point of sale that it would be, that company would have to agree to push that specific data field, which would be like store credit, to via API to our server, so it could sit there and then we could add it up at the end of the night or something like that. That's how that would work. I know that the point of sale that you use, Megan, I don't know, they're not as flexible of working. So you've got like companies like FTD and Telefora that will say no. So if you have Mercury or RTI or Dove, I'm just telling you right now, they'll never do that. Companies like the Floral POS, like yours, there's a possibility, but I have my doubts. Florisware and Mass, especially Mass, is much more flexible on doing stuff like that. So just FYI for those that are listening, those are kind of point of sale businesses that we would work. And then Iris too. Iris probably would do something like that too, because the more independent they are, the more flexible. Yeah. So just FYI. I wouldn't, but the Floral POS, I would send them an email and just tell them or ask them if that's something possible that they'd work with Epic to do something like that. Megan, and then let me know, because we'll do that.
Okay, cool. So I could reach out and ask them if they'd be willing to work with Epic about in-store rewards programs for our customers.
Yeah, send it and then tell them that for their point of sale, like, I don't know, every 15 minutes or 30 or hour, whatever it is, sending that endpoint, an API endpoint, which would be the reward amount to Epic, and then we would know what to do with it. But they would also have to, this is the other part, Megan, you'll have to say, and this is the hard part. And your company, your point of sale would also have to check that third party, because if people are getting credit online, it's going to need to be added to that too. So before POS every 15 or 30 minutes, we'll have to check to see if that number changed, and if it does, they'll need to update that customer's in-store credit.
Okay.
That's the part I don't know if they would go the extra mile for. But good luck. Let me know.
Right. Okay. Because that would be awesome.
I think
know,
so. I think
for-
so too. I agree.
For our older clientele, some of them don't ever even visit our website at all.
Yeah, and we'll just charge Jonathan. So whatever you want, then you let me know. We'll charge Jonathan for that. All right. Anybody else? Anyone else? Before we take off?
Brandon Jonathan has a message on the chat.
Oh, Mass. Yes, Jonathan. I think everybody on Mass is using this. Linda, is AZ Florist using goLoyalty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure they all are. And
Yeah, Match just sends, ours is set to go back to BigCommerce and tell them when it's delivered, and it marks it completed, and then it looks like that's when they're getting their credit.
All right, Field of Flowers is here too today, and I think they're still deciding whether to use it or not. So they're on Mass as well. All right. Anybody else?
I will say we've had like random people that have credit, and then they call us and they want to do an order over the phone. And we just give them the credit and then go back into their BigCommerce account and adjust. You can adjust the credit on their account.
That's did you hear that? Yeah, Megan, does that happen with you guys too? People will call in and go, "I've got credit online. Can I use it over the phone?" You're muted, Megan. Megan. Okay. She's not, she can't hear us. Okay, anyway.
Were you talking to me?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, I missed it. What did you say?
you guys, Linda said that people will call in and want to use their online store credit over the phone with their phone store order. Does that happen with you guys?
Yeah. And then you can go in and just take it off their account, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and let me show you real quick on the screen for those who want to know how that's done. So basically, you can just go into all customers, and right here, store credit. I can just go in here and remove all of Alex's store credit. Just like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I guess another question I have, maybe, when you showed that you can how you can say that they can't earn store credit until the order's been completed,
Right.
because people might go and cancel their order and then still earn the credit. I
Yeah.
suppose you could just have it say that, because we don't change our status of the order. We just leave it as we're on it or completed or whatever. Because we just don't go in and manually change those, and it obviously doesn't change on its own from the POS. So theoretically, you could also, maybe to work around that, you could just mark it as, like, if the order's been received, they get their store credit, and then if they cancel it, you could just go back and revoke the credit the same way you just showed us, basically.
You can do it that way. Yeah, you'll just have to stay on top of it. If people are bigger shops that are getting like 100 orders a day online, that'll be a nightmare. But
Right.
yeah, it can be done for sure, Megan.
Okay. Just
Right
because
now.
it would be nice to have it that, like, to be able to just say when they get their store credit, when such and such happens, when the order is completed, but we don't change our status manually. And that would just be annoying to have to do that every day. You know what I mean? Go in and change the.
Every florist is different. It's some people use that as a check and balance. Some people, yeah, it's just different for different people.
Right.
I get
Right.
it.
Okay.
Cool. Let's see here. Anybody else? All right. Wonderful. We're going to upload this. This will be on the probably our YouTube channel in a few days. I will send out to the florists who could make it today, and then we're going to try to do this every Tuesday for the next, like, I don't know, for the rest of the summer, and go over a bunch of new stuff. We have also Angelica will be sending out an email on some new cool stuff that we have where on the website. So, and then we have new themes. We're going to be doing new theme. We've got a lot of stuff that we have. So thank you everybody for being here today. I appreciate it, and have a great rest of your week. Thank you so much.
Like and subscribe to keep up with what's new at epicShops.